Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at the new marksman debuting in Wild Rift, Lucian the Purifier. Lucian is a highly mobile attack damage carry that revolves around using Relentless Pursuit to quickly move around fights, weaving spells between each of his auto attacks to proc his passive, lowering its cooldown and giving him high mobility and DPS. Lucian is a fairly straightforward marksman that is easy to get into, but with practice you could take advantage of his spell weaving style to do massive damage and move quickly around fights to focus key targets. Let's get into the guide. Lucian is traditionally played in either the mid or dual lane, though over his time in PC he has defaulted to more of a mid lane choice. This is due to his strong early game ability in poke, using his first ability Piercing Light to poke opponents through minion waves and taking advantage of his dash to be able to pressure mages and assassins alike. However, he can have a solid bot lane presence with aggressive support pairings. Lucian and Braum is a traditional combo with strong synergy, as Lucian's double shot passive can allow him to quickly proc stuns that Braum sets up, and they can use their early game strength to bully scaling lanes like Jinx or Vayne. Lucian's passive is Light Slinger. After casting an ability, Lucian's next basic attack within 3.5 seconds fires a double shot, with the second shot dealing reduced damage. This second shot does however apply on-hit effects, and can also crit, giving Lucian strong synergy with both item build paths that AD carries traditionally take. Lucian's first ability is Piercing Light. Piercing Light is a targeted spell that shoots a beam of light in a line, with the beam having a fixed distance and potentially going further than your target. This is one of Lucian's key mechanics, especially for the lane phase. Piercing Light can be cast on enemy minions with the intention to hit champions standing behind them, as the beam will extend past your target if you're not at max range. You can also aim to hit multiple champions in skirmishing or fights by lining up the beams off an initial enemy. Lucian's second ability is Ardent Blaze. Lucian fires a shot in a direction that explodes into a cross, dealing magic damage and marking all enemies hit. Upon damaging a marked enemy, Lucian will gain movement speed for a short amount of time. Allies can also hit marked enemies to gain the same movement speed bonus as well. Ardent Blaze is a great utility spell that will grant you and your team access to even stronger mobility, allowing you to quickly chase down opponents, or in some cases flee in combination with Relentless Pursuit. Lucian's third ability is Relentless Pursuit. Lucian dashes a small distance in a target direction and resets his auto attack timer. Relentless Pursuit's cooldown is reduced by 1 second every time Lucian lands a Light Slinger shot, with this bonus increased to 2 seconds per shot when hitting enemy champions. This ability is the bread and butter of Lucian's kit, with your aim during fights and trades being to try and reset the cooldown of Relentless Pursuit as often as possible, while weaving your spells in between autos and trying to proc Light Slinger as much as you can. Lucian's ultimate is the Culling. Lucian channels for up to 3 seconds, rapidly firing shots in a target direction. Each shot will deal physical damage to the first target hit, and you can recast the culling to cancel it after a short time. The culling does massive damage, and can be used to quickly blow up squishy targets if you find a direct line to hit them. Relentless Pursuit can also be cast during the culling, and can allow you to reposition it quickly to follow an enemy who is trying to dodge or who might flash away. The culling's range is much higher than your normal auto range, so you can also consider it in scenarios where the enemy is too far to hit safely or you're not able to follow up in time. For your skill order, you will want to max Piercing Light first, as it's the source of your laning power and early game strength. You will then want to max Relentless Pursuit to lower the base cooldown as much as possible, allowing you to reset it more often with Light Slinger. We max Ardent Blaze last, as while it does some damage, we mainly use it for the movement speed utility and as another opportunity to proc Light Slinger. Don't forget to put a point into the culling whenever possible. When it comes to builds for Lucian, there are 3 that I've theorized could be good. The first is a standard ADC build, starting with Blade of the Ruined King, followed by building into the standard crit package of Infinity Edge and a Zeal item, traditionally either Rapid Fire Cannon or Static Shiv. These 3 items take advantage of Light Slinger to the maximum, with Blade of the Ruined King getting tons of procs from Light Slinger applying on-hit effects, and also having a chance to give you additional powerful crits on every passive proc. After these items, you will normally want to pick up a Mortal Reminder to give yourself armor penetration, and then round out your build with either a Guardian Angel or another Zeal item to give yourself additional crit if you're feeling safe. The second build starts instead by building a Mana Mune. Lucian is quite a mana hungry champion, and without many options to provide you solid regen, that gives us Mana Mune as one of the obvious choices. This item will also give you ability haste to lower your cooldowns, allowing you to spam them even more. Following finishing the Mana Mune, we will once again go for the standard crit package of Infinity Edge and a Zeal upgrade item. This build actually takes more advantage of crit than the previous one, as your AD will be much higher with Mirror Mana than with Blade of the Ruined King. Like the previous build, we go for a Mortal Reminder after these 2 items to give us some armor penetration, and then can round out with a Guardian Angel, another Zeal item, or even Blade of the Ruined King if you feel like you need to chip down some high HP targets or want some more lifesteal. The third build is a bit of a callback to an old meta build from PC. This build also starts with Blade of the Ruined King, but then follows up by building a Black Cleaver. Since Lucian is a quick applier of on-hit effects, this build takes advantage of Black Cleaver and quickly shreds the target's armor by stacking up Sunder stacks with Light Slinger. Black Cleaver also gives some ability haste and health, making you a little bit tankier and a stronger duelist. After these 2 items, you will normally go for the crit package of Infinity Edge and a Zeal item, and then round out with a Guardian's Angel or Mortal Reminder. This build is a lot more early game focused, and your 2 item spike should be very strong. However, there are not as many great options for synergy after these 2 items, so you won't be quite as powerful at full build as you would be with the other 2 choices. For boot choices, traditionally Gluttonous Greaves will be your go-to, as Lucian gets high value out of the physical vamp due to his high damage abilities and double hit autos giving him lots of procs. If the enemy has a lot of CC, you could set off for Mercury Shreds to give yourself some tenacity and perhaps have a better chance to escape. For boot enchantments, your 3 options will generally be Stasis, Quicksilver Sash, and Protobelt. If the enemy has targeted dive spells and you think you'll be focused in fights, Stasis is a great choice to survive the initial engage and give your team time to set up a counter engage. Cases for this are champions like Vi and Camille, who will always aim to dive you and whose ultimates you can completely cancel with a well-timed stasis. If the enemy has champions that revolve around their CC, like Ahri, Twisted Fate, or Galio, Quicksilver Slash can let you cleanse yourself during these spells and allow you to maintain aggressive positioning while it's up. If you're feeling confident outside of these cases, Protobelt will give you even more maneuverability, allowing you to dive even further with enemy champions or sidestep important skills, even if the Relentless Pursuit is not available. When it comes to runes, I recommend Conqueror as your keystone of choice, as Lucian can quickly stack it with the nature of his spell-weaving style and reach 5 stacks very quickly, giving him a lot of bonus damage. For Domination, you will want to take Humph to Vampirism, as it will give you additional lifesteal and is a solid choice for most marksmen. For Resolve, you will generally want to either go Second Wind or Bone Plating depending on your matchup, with Second Wind being better against poke champions and Bone Plating being better against burst opponents. For Inspiration, Sweet Tooth is the default choice as it gives you additional lane sustain, but Hunter Genius or Mana Flow Band can also be solid options if you don't feel like you need the stronger Honey Fruit. Lucian's early lane phase highly revolves around aggressive use of his passive and clever aim of his Piercing Light. By targeting minions in between you and the enemy champion, you can use the max range of the beam to hit them at the end and poke them from a safe distance. Auto-attacking an enemy, then using Relentless Pursuit will reset your auto-attack and quickly hit them with a double shot of your passive, dealing a lot of upfront burst and stacking Conqueror, which will allow you to win extended duels. When trading, you should always weave your spells in between each auto-attack to get the maximum number of Lightsinger procs and also as much uptime of Relentless Pursuit as you can. An example of this is using Relentless Pursuit, auto-attacking, then using Piercing Light, auto-attacking, and then using Ardent Blaze and auto-attacking again. This will give you the maximum amount of Lightsinger procs and will ready your Relentless Pursuit again as soon as possible, while also dealing lots of damage. Once you have access to the culling, you can easily find kills on squishing targets by dashing past minions and lining it up, as it does a massive amount of single target damage. You can also do a normal trading combo and then use the culling at the end once your enemy is trying to escape and run them down. Cancelling the culling will also give you a proc of Lightslinger, so you could use this to surprise enemies with a little bit of extra burst damage at the end. Team fighting with Lucian is a similar style to his laning. Make sure to try and use Relentless Pursuit as often as possible to keep it on cooldown so you can be getting the maximum value out of the Lightslinger reduction. Outside of that, try to weave your spells in whenever they are available to get as many procs of your passive as you can. If you're unable to get in range to do damage, or if the fight is turning in your favor, you can unleash the culling at your enemies to clean up. When it comes to advanced combos with Lucian, there are 2 key flash mechanics you can take advantage of. The first is using flash during the culling, allowing you to follow an enemy flash or drastically reposition the angle that you're firing at. The second is using flash during the Ardent Blaze. This will redirect Ardent Blaze of Light to cast from your new location, giving you the opportunity to catch enemies off guard by firing it in ways not normally possible. You can also use the Protobelt enchantment for both of these combos to provide similar utility, though it's not as powerful as Flash itself. Lucian was one of my favorite champions on the PC version, and I'm excited to finally see him in Wild Rift. He's a fast-paced marksman that is super enjoyable to play once you get comfortable dashing around and are able to take advantage of its powerful mobility and burst. If you enjoyed this guide, please leave a like as it really helps with the channel, and consider subscribing for more content like this in the future. I hope you all get out there and purify the Rift. Peace!